What's up, and welcome to episode 6 of Something Awesome. It's hard to not say the other name.
I know. I struggled with that too.
Yeah, episode 6 of Something Awesome. We are continuing our Halloween Spooktacular special episodes bullshit. And today we're going to be talking about some of our favorite horror movies. Rick's also recently watched a movie that he wants to talk about first, and then we'll get into some of our favorites, whether it's growing up or watching movies when you weren't supposed to, or
I got those.
or what modern, whatever. We're just talking about some of our favorite horror movies. Yeah.
But yeah, so I recently watched the movie Nope.
I've heard a lot of conflicting reviews of the movie Nope, so I'm excited. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm excited to hear what you thought.
Jordan Peele, a big fan of Jordan Peele. He's been doing a lot of innovative stuff, and he has the mind of like Alfred Hitchcock with M. Night Shyamalan. Not twist, but like essence.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it.
I get you.
His movies are so well thought out, so well
being
choreographed.
An asshole for a minute, but I have to check something. Go ahead.
Go for it.
It's
so well choreographed and just top tier fucking horror. I loved Get Out. I loved Us. I probably like Get Out more than Us.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what people say.
But when Nope came around, wow, that movie wasn't that okay. The movie was great. I loved the movie. It was crazy. It had me thinking what was going to happen next. But knowing that this is his third movie, watching his past movies, you kind of get a sense of what he does as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see the telegraphs that he has throughout the movies to see what's coming next.
Okay.
I know other people would give me shit for saying that. Like, sure, I didn't know this was coming. But if you put the pieces together,
yeah,
I sound like Randy from Scream. Everything's connected.
I'll be right back.
But that's the pattern. You see that in all directors. You can see it in every director.
People have their tropes.
Tarantino,
they have their styles.
Spielberg, like they got their style.
Yeah,
Shyamalan.
100%.
So you see that. That being said, he still had me fucking guessing.
Okay.
He still had me fucking guessing. Like I was like, what is this movie? Is it going this way? Is it going that way? Oh, it's going this way. But then this happens, So like, it definitely keeps you guessing. It does what I like, where it shows you, doesn't tell you. It gives you just a little bit and not everything at once.
Yeah.
Which is something that I like about movies, or that when directors and writers do this. That being said, like I said earlier, like I loved it a lot. I think it's great. I think everyone should see it. I really regret not seeing this in IMAX.
Oh, really? Was it shot that way?
There was an IMAX. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I think it was shot in IMAX because like there was an actual IMAX in the movie, like actual. Okay. Like I showed a camera and it looks like they were filming in IMAX.
Oh, all right.
Hard to explain if you haven't seen the movie.
Right.
But I think it was shot. I could be wrong. I'll double check it. You'll see it right here. Either way, IMAX is the way to go because it's this big open field. It's about these brother sister who owns I think it's called Hollywood Haywood horses. Basically studio horses that they take and put them on set and like handle them. And they start noticing things from the sky falling. And they don't know where it's coming from and what's happening.
Gotcha.
I don't want to say too much because I want you to see it.
Okay.
I have a feeling you might like it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Jordan Peele stuff, so I don't know.
I think you'd probably like this more than Us.
Uh-huh.
And maybe more than Get Out.
Okay. I need to see all that because
I know you need to see all that. But like, I'm just trying to, because I know you and I know what you like. Like that's kind of what I'm guessing at. But yeah, like the movie is fucking terrifying. Some of the shots, it has to deal with like Hollywood. There's like this guy who owns this ranch who does like his own thing. Like it's basically like a like a Knott's Berry Farm kind of ranch, but
Okay.
like really small. You know, back when Knott's Berry Farm only had the ranch or
Right,
whatever.
right. When it was actually just a farm. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. You know, there's like
Okay.
games and like carnival stuff there too. But they're like the whole thing for him is this big spectacle that you really don't know about until the movie progresses and you see what he's really knows.
Got it.
Which is what's connected to what the Hollywood horses,
Okay.
Haywood horses are looking into as well. So it's kind of also chaptered, and it's such a weird pull, but like Clerks. Because remember in Clerks where they have the title cards,
yeah.
like that. It's kind of he does
Okay.
that too.
All right.
So I thought that was very clever. Like when the first act ends, you know, or a certain scene ends, then it'll say like title card, Lucky.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about the horse. You know, so it's interesting
That's
to
pretty
see like the
interesting.
different
Okay.
perspectives of this movie. Beautifully shot. Special effects are fantastic. Like he put so much time into this movie. It's insane. A lot of creep factors in there. With his, when it comes to his movies, you don't want to say much.
Right.
So I can say that I enjoyed the movie a lot. I highly recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to go see it. It is streaming on demand, and I think it's still in theaters too. And I recommend to see it in theaters if you can.
Yeah, I don't go to theaters.
I know
anymore.
you don't. Actually, no, not theaters. IMAX.
The last thing I saw in a theater was.
What was the last?
Oh no, I was gonna say it was Sonic the Hedgehog, but no, that's a lie. I saw Elvis recently.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
I liked it.
I know you're a big Elvis fan.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't go to theaters. But yeah, I have to check out all his movies because I hear.
Well,
again,
if you want to watch it here on my big projector.
I hear a lot of like people. Generally, the consensus is people like his movies, but there's always like contrasting opinions to where it's like, oh, this is really good, or oh, I didn't. This was terrible. Like it's all his stuff always seems divisive, and whereas I know Get Out got a lot of just overwhelmingly positive reviews. I know Us and this one are kind of very divisive with people, but again, it's not that I just don't want to see it. It's just I haven't figured out when to sit down and watch it because I'm too busy watching old shit that I love.
Right. Yeah, Fry's, the company Fry's makes an appearance in this.
Oh shit, really?
Even though they went out of business in 2019, I think it was, or 2020.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, the guy is, they go to start getting equipment, security cameras and stuff. And the guy who they check out with ends up coming over and installing all the cameras for them.
Okay.
And he kind of gets a hint of what they're doing, and he wants to help them out. And like, it's this whole thing. He's a funny character.
Okay.
I liked him. Stupid but funny. Stupid at times, dumb decisions. But yeah, I highly recommend to see the movie if you haven't seen it. I'm sure everyone's already seen it. I'm probably like the last one.
Right.
Besides you. But it's incredible, and it's one of those movies where you definitely would want to watch it again, to see the hints in the beginning and throughout the movie for the lead up. But yeah, go see it.
Okay. You brought up M. Night Shyamalan, and it's something I had to look up.
He has a new movie coming out soon too.
Knock at the Cabin. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Oh yeah.
Looks really good.
That looks scary.
Looks really good. Fuck, I'm excited. Like,
yeah, I know he gets a lot of shit.
Yeah, he does.
He gets a lot of shit. But
some deserved, some not so much deserved, but yes.
The Visit, man. Have you seen The Visit?
No.
The Visit? That was like his indie comeback.
Yeah.
Indie comeback in a way. And that movie scared the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
When you find out what happens.
But yeah, I saw the trailer for Knock at the Cabin like a couple days ago. It was funny because I was watching something on YouTube and the ad popped up. And it's like, skip ad in 5 seconds. I'm like, God, I'm going to fucking skip this ad in 5 seconds. Let's fucking go. Unless I'm looking at it. And then I just start paying attention. I was like, oh, it's M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, okay.
Got you with the
And I was like, so then I start watching it. And then I was like, oh shit, it's Dave Bautista. Fuck yeah. All right. All right. Oh shit, it looks really good. I'm really excited for that one.
He looks terrifying.
Yeah. So I ended up watching the entire fucking ad for the movie. But yeah, it looks really good. All right, that's all I wanted. That's what I was looking up. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Look at the cabin.
So shall we?
Cabin. Oh,
yeah.
Fucking cabin.
Shall we jump into the main reason we're here today, sir?
Yeah, let's do it. So, I'll go for it.
Favorite horror movies. I know. Again, we talked about on our last episode about how you grew up in a religious household and weren't able to participate in Halloween. But were there any movies you saw when you were little? Whether you had that you were not supposed to see, that you did see, that either scared the shit out of you or that you still love to this day?
There was a movie I was able to see.
Okay.
Okay. The only horror movie I was able to see, well, technically two. The first one, let's talk about, I did see it in Spanish, and I've mentioned this in the other podcast.
Yeah.
I was on vacation visiting my I don't know what number of cousins they are.
Yeah.
But in Mexico, and they all wanted to watch El Payaso movie. I'm like, all right, let's watch this. And I was, I think, like 7. I don't remember how old I was, or 8. And it was basically the movie It with Tim Curry.
Yeah.
As Pennywise.
Yeah. That
movie scarred the shit out of me for life. I hate clowns. I fucking hate clowns.
He does.
so much. And yeah, so that one we weren't allowed to watch. Somehow we ended up watching it while we were there visiting. I don't remember what it like if my mom ever came up and found us watching it, or if their parents came up and found us watching it. We were definitely not allowed to watch it. But I remember watching that, not being able, knowing I wasn't told. For good reason, I probably shouldn't have watched it. But one that my mom let me watch, which I was surprised, was not so surprising maybe once you hear what movie it is. Carrie.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Carrie, you have to listen to your mom, and you have to.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that makes sense. Controlling mother. But yeah, I watched that young as well too. Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So those were I was allowed. After that, like I wanted to watch other movies. Like I heard about Halloween, Friday the 13th, and all that. And my mom was like, "No, you watch that, you're going to fucking hell. You evil kid." Blah 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 blah. So I didn't get to watch any of those movies.
That's a bummer.
The last movie that I snuck to watch was with my old neighbor. They came over to my place because I had a VCR in my room and a TV.
Nice.
And,
but you couldn't watch anything.
I didn't have it. They brought the tape over, and that tape was Scream.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's how much I could not watch movies. Scream came out in 96. Yeah. And I was what, 14, 15?
About that, right? Yeah.
Right, I think. And I still couldn't watch fucking horror movies. I couldn't watch Buffy. I'd have friends record Buffy for me.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's right. I remember you telling me that. Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, Scream was the last movie I had to sneak to watch.
Okay.
And I still remember, like, it was me, my sisters, I think were both there. I'm with my 2 neighbors back in the day. And we were just there watching Scream. And the part that scared me the most was, where she gets that first encounter and she's trying to dial 911 on the computer. And, and then she runs down the stairs, and then there's a knocking at the door, or she opens the door, and Dewey's there with the mask and everything.
Yeah.
At that exact moment, my mom opened the door and scared the shit out of us.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, I'll never forget that because that was so frightening. Like, the timing was perfect. It was the Twitch timing perfect.
That's so funny, dude. I never had to sneak movies, so to speak. It was lucky to grow up in a very kind of like progressive childhood, I guess you'd call it. Because like my parents, even my grandparents were like, they would say like, you probably shouldn't watch that. You know, it's gonna fuck you all up, man. Don't watch that. And I'd be like, I'll be fine. So I didn't really have to like sneak any movies. But I just growing up and seeing stuff that I probably shouldn't see, like Rosemary's Baby. I was scarred from that one, and that's not even that bad. But it is like it's that, and it's a cheesy like B movie, but Puppet Master, the first Puppet Master. That one kind of fucked me up a little bit, and this is gonna be a common thing for people our age, you know, late 30s, early 40s. I had a fucking My Buddy, and when Child's Play came out,
same.
Oh God! And of course I watch it because I'm a dumbass.
I wasn't able to watch it. I just saw the trailer.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. And that first Child's Play movie is to this day so fucking scary. They got very cheesy and hokey later on, but that first one is legitimately still scary. And I didn't watch that fucking reboot thing that came out. Don't watch the TV show. No, the one before.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Rampant AI or whatever the fuck their story was going to be. I didn't see that. I haven't watched the TV show, but I know a lot of people seem to like the TV show.
A lot of people like it because I think Jennifer Tilly's in it.
Yes, she is.
Who doesn't like Jennifer Tilly?
Exactly.
Shit.
But yeah, so Child's Play was the one where I was like, oh man, I probably shouldn't watch this. But I did.
And you had the My Buddy.
Yeah, and I had that fucking My Buddy doll, man.
Did you stop playing with it like I did?
I didn't get rid of it, but I definitely put it somewhere where it could not fuck with me as a kid.
That's funny. That same thing happened to me when the trailer came out. Yeah. I had the My Buddy too. My dad kept finding my My Buddy in the trash because I kept throwing it away.
I bet when it came back, you were like, oh my God.
My dad was like, I paid money for this. You wanted it.
That's funny. Other things that were unintentionally that could be scary if you used it right. I had a Teddy Ruxpin doll where you put the cassette tape in it. Like, put the right cassette tape in there and scare the shit out of your cousins. That's what I did with that thing.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. Pretty good stuff. And for whatever reason, it's always old music that's the creepiest. So you just find a cassette tape with some like old 50s
like BioShock music.
Yeah. And it's that thing is scary. One of the movies that I saw when I was probably too young to see it was the movie House, which was written and directed by the Friday the 13th team. And if you watch the trailer, it says, from the people that brought you Friday the 13th, it's House. And it's like, it's a very cheesy B movie. But it's pretty scary. Like the basic plot, I won't go too far into it. And I don't know where it's streaming. I think it might be on Shudder or one of those things. Or you can find other nefarious ways to watch these movies.
YouTube for free.
Probably. It's about a Vietnam vet who comes back home to his childhood home, and it's been overrun by ghosts and fucking haunting shit. And it was very scary. I haven't watched it in a couple of years at this point, probably over a decade at this point, but I remember being really fucking scary when I was a kid. And when I watched it most recently, I was like, yeah, this is still pretty scary. So that's one. There's, I don't know, the guy in the movie, just he himself is scary. Like just the way he's acting, like those expressions, his presence, his line deliveries. It's super scary. That's one of the movies that I hold up as like one of my favorite. And none of these are gonna be movies or mainstream movies that the majority of people know. I know there's a lot of horror movie fans out there that go deeper into the genre. But this is definitely a deeper cut, man. Like, it's not something.
I don't think I've heard of that movie.
Yeah, it had a sequel too, which I'll talk about also in a little bit.
For a second, I was thinking of like was it the people with under the stairs? And then I started. No, that's the name of the
people
movie.
Under the Stairs.
That's people under the stairs.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not sure what Rick's picks are going to be that he's going to talk about, but a lot of the ones I'm going to talk about you've probably never heard of, but you should go out of your way to see. But yeah, House is definitely on that list of movies where I used to revisit it a lot, and I just haven't in a while, so I need to go back and watch it again because I really like that movie a lot.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned, Scream was one that I definitely could always watch. That's been my favorite.
Yeah,
fucking slasher movie. As far as like ghost and present, like haunting things like that. That was like that's a hard one to choose because there's so many good ones out there that I can think of. But the one I guess it's the most recent is The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Like specifically The Conjuring 2, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, not that I don't like the first one. I love the first one. But like I feel like there's more rewatch value with the second one.
Okay.
Than I don't want to say than the first one, but because they're both good. But like for some reason, like I always found myself watching or finding it on television or randomly on somewhere. Like was the second one. So I started rewatching or watching that one anytime Halloween season comes around.
Yeah.
Just because I like the actors in it. I love the director. James Wan is amazing. Directed Saw, which is another movie that I watch as well. Which you're giving me a look. Like,
no,
you don't count that as Halloween?
It's a scary movie. It's definitely a scary movie. That's fine. I'm not. My controversial take is that the only good Saw is the first Saw, and every other movie sucks. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, I was like, I can use this as a platform to get on my soapbox, but I won't today. I don't care what you know what? Fuck it. I don't care what anybody says. The first Saw is the only good Saw. 2 is fine. 2 is fine. There's some cool stuff in 2.
I think everyone would agree the first one's the best one.
But there are people that walk around like every fucking movie in the Saw franchise is amazing. No! The first one is a great movie. The rest of them are mediocre and lower. And that's my fucking hot take on Saw. Off my soapbox. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Saw, Conjuring, and there's a classic movie too. There's a classic movie that I had. I totally forgot what my classic television shows.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There's certain television shows episodes that I watch during Halloween too. And here I go, Buffy.
Okay, go with the Buffy.
There's some good episodes. Hush is a good scary episode where everyone loses their voice and you have the gentleman floating around town.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And then Conversations with Dead People. Definitely a scary one as well too, especially Dawn's story in that. That's like a 3-part story episode. But one, and I recently watched this because of the podcast, is the Boy Meets World episode. The Scream Boy Meets World episode.
That's a good one.
Right?
That's a good one, yeah.
That episode is so fun to watch.
Yeah. It's not scary.
It's not scary,
no,
but
not
it's
at all.
fun.
But yeah, that's a fun one,
It's
man.
fun. It may be just because of nostalgic reasons, but like you get fucking Jennifer Love Hewitt in it.
Yeah.
And this is like on the prime of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right. Yeah, that's a good episode.
Party of Five.
I didn't forget about that, but that's one that I don't ever really
think about,
until you bring it up or somebody else brings it up. I love that episode.
It's such a good episode. Actually watching that episode, it made me want to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, they look like they're having so much fun filming this. Like, I want to be an actor. Like, I want to act. And that kind of threw me into that direction of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Films. I know you have more classic ones that you watch. And
classics, yeah. Quote unquote classics.
Well, what I associate with you as far as like horror and like what your favorite is, Christine.
Yeah.
That's the one that I know you love.
Fucking love that movie, man. I love that movie. That wasn't on my list today, but
wasn't?
No, only because
I was 100% sure you were going to talk.
I was busting a Rick on this one, and I was like, what can I talk about that nobody knows about? So Christine is, yes, I will talk about that because that is one of my favorite movies. The kid, the one who buys the car, like, I can't remember if I think this is right before he does Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield because he plays the son in that. Yeah, he's the lead in that fucking movie. So he goes from this movie to that over the top comedy with Rodney Dangerfield, and the girlfriend is Alexandra Paul. She was on Baywatch later on in her life as Stephanie. I don't remember the last name of the character, but she was the other. She was the other like head lifeguard with David Hasselhoff's character. Yeah, and like she's actually pretty good in this movie as playing like a naive teenage girl, and it's very, very believable. And the transformation that the lead character goes through in Christine from, kind of being like a downtrodden nerdy guy that people pick on to becoming this very, like, everything he does is very sinister, and the way he moves, the way he looks, the way he talks later in the movie, and it's all brought on because of this car. And man, the first time I saw that movie, it scared the absolute shit out of me. And then I was like, nah, I need to watch it again. And that's a movie that I watched on fucking repeat for months after I saw it. And yeah, I saw it on cable. And then the next time it was on, I recorded it on VHS because I'm fucking old. Yep. And wore that fucking tape out to where snapped the tape and ended up having to wait for it to come on again to record again. But yeah, man, like I fucking love that movie, and that car is such a beautiful car. I think the story of this kid becoming obsessed with this car to the point where he's almost in love with it is a cool take on a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, this kid is in love with an inanimate object and will do whatever it takes to keep it safe and protect it. Like, that's what ends up happening in this movie. But yeah, I love Christine. That's a good pull. Thank you for bringing that up. Because initially I wasn't going to talk about it. But,
I figured I wasn't going to be on it. But I'm curious to know what the other ones were that you were going to pull.
So I'll go into my next one is the sequel to House 2, quote, the second story. And the reason I bring this one up is because whereas the first movie was like a straight up horror movie, ghosts and goblins horror movie, ghosts and ghouls, whatever you want to say. This one is, I don't know if it's the first, but I always say it's the first horror comedy I ever saw in my life. And it's like 1987 or 1988, somewhere around there. Or maybe 86 actually. But yeah, it's a fucking horror comedy. And it's it doesn't super lean into the funny aspect, but like it's about a guy who moves into his great-great-great-grandfather's house and they fucking dig up the great-great-grandfather, and he's not alive, obviously, because he's dead, but he is a zombie, so to speak, but not like a zombie, like walks, talks, everything like he's still alive, but he's dead. And he was a gunslinger, and the culmination of the movie ends up with how he died. Like, there's some really funny aspects to this movie. John Ratzenberger is in it. That's how you know there's going to be some comedy. You know John Ratzenberger, right? So he was on Cheers. He played the mailman on Cheers.
Okay.
He's a lot of the voices in the Pixar movies. He does the...
Oh, I know. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
He's the pig,
right?
in Toy Story. Yeah. So John Ratzenberger. Yeah, it's there's funny parts to it.
I don't think I've ever heard you mention this movie.
But I love this movie. It's super cheesy. It's super corny. The comedy is bad. The horror is bad. But I fucking love this movie, and that's one that I think might be on Shudder or probably YouTube. Or you could just spend the $3 and rent it on Amazon, because I know it's there. It is completely worth the money. It has nothing to do with the first movie whatsoever. That's why I bring them up together, because even though they're in the same franchise or whatever, they have nothing to do with each other. And yeah, House 2, the second story. And it's like, that is the cheesiest name you could ever come up with. And yes, it's very cheesy and very goofy. Some of the stuff at the end I was already past being scared at this point. I'm like fucking 6 years old when I see this movie, but I'm 8 years old, but I'm past the point of like being scared by things.
Right.
So I think. And yeah, that's one of them where even at the end, it still gets very, there's some good performances in this really shitty horror comedy movie. So y'all should check out House 2, the second story.
Do you have like a specific horror genre that you like get drawn to?
Yes, I
do.
Is
it possession or house?
It's psychological thrillers. I do like some of the possession stuff. I do like some of like the quote haunted house stuff. I do like I like a lot of everything, but the thing that speaks to me the most, and people don't consider them horror movies, is psychological thrillers. Like, I think Frailty is one of the best movies made, scary movies ever made. And it's a psychological thriller with very little gore or blood or guts or anything. Yeah, I like psychological thrillers. Frailty is one I always talk about that people need to see.
Yeah, I think you mentioned.
But yeah, I like that style of movie, which is why I like Silent Hill over
the
Resident Evil, because Resident Evil is scarcity and jump scares. And
see zombie, shoot zombie.
Yeah, and Silent Hill is the build.
How did they get here?
The build up to the scare in Silent Hill is the thing that, I don't know. It's a fucking rush, man. Like
the noise, the alarm, the ringing, and the transition from one world to the other.
Yeah. The static on the fucking radio, and as it gets louder and louder and builds, and your hair just stands on end as high as it can possibly fucking stand, and then boom, they get you, and it's like, fuck, I knew it was coming. How did you still get me? Like, that's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too. Like, I like definitely the psychological stuff. I'm not really a fan of possession.
Yeah.
You know, because like religious household, you know.
Yeah.
This is why I'll never see The Exorcist, because like everyone, like, that's the scariest movie of all time. And then there was actually this research saying like which movie, like out of all the horror movies, they did this like whole survey like to see what's the scariest horror movie based on a person's reaction, heartbeat, and like physicalness. Yeah. And Sinister was actually the one that made it the top with Ethan. Was it Ethan Hawke?
I don't think I saw Sinister. I saw Insidious. I didn't see Sinister. I know they're different, but they're one-word titles or whatever. But yeah.
But yeah, Sinister is the one that creeped most people out. Physically.
Yeah.
Creeped them out. High heart rate and all that. But yeah, it's really good. It is scary. It's with Ethan Hawke. He finds like his box, like he buys a house, finds a box, and it has like all this footage from the people who used to live there, and like some of the footage has their death, and like you start seeing it cross over into real life. It's crazy.
Okay.
As you were talking, I had movies and they just like left my brain. I remember. Okay. So yeah, as far as like my genre, I would say like slashers.
Yeah.
And psychological thrillers.
Okay.
I can't think of a psychological thriller currently. But there is one movie that I watched recently called The Rental. It's a Netflix, I think, exclusive. It has Alison Brie and the main guy from...
okay. I think I've seen the trailer.
The main guy from Legion.
Okay.
FX. Which I started watching Legion. And holy shit, that's another like horror psychological... It's an X-Men. It's based on X-Men.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll get into that later. But yeah, The Rental stars Alison Brie and is actually directed by not James, his brother Dave Franco.
Oh, okay. Baby Franco.
Yeah. And he wrote and directed this movie about these two couples who go to a Airbnb, and they rent it out, and like the owner of course seems sketchy. They think he's racist because he originally one of the person who's Muslim was originally trying to rent it, and it got denied, but one of their friends rented his wife and it went through. So like there's like this whole tension.
Okay.
You never know where you think this movie's going, and then when it gets there, you're like, what the fuck is happening? But it'll make sure that any Airbnb you go to is clear of cameras and clear up everything
That's funny.
that's possible to see you. Like it's an insane movie.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's like all-time great, like
Right,
up here,
right, yeah.
but like it's definitely a one if you like want to watch something. Like it was well directed. It was very well directed, and the suspense was definitely there. I don't know if I would call it maybe psychological if you want,
Yeah.
but that's something that I watched that kind of gave me the creeps. He's watching. I don't know if you've heard of that movie.
Mm-mm.
I think it was made during quarantine.
Oh, okay.
So like it's basically a found footage movie, which some people are fans of, some people aren't.
If they're done the right way, I can be into that.
You wouldn't like this. I know you wouldn't like this. Because it scared the living daylights out of me. I haven't been this scared of a movie in a while.
Yeah.
Because it was so out there. It's about these two kids whose parents had to go into quarantine. They're in the hospital, so they're basically living on their own in the house. And they think like all these weird things start happening in the house. They're basically vlogging or documenting their stay in the house.
Okay.
And they start noticing like things that are being recorded on their phone that they did not record.
Okay.
And ghost apparitions, crazy shit like that. You never know where this fucking movie is going. And it's like someone's spying on them, someone's watching them. They do go and venture out into like the real world, and then you see like it basically looks like what it looked like during quarantine, like no cars anywhere, no anything. But a little bit more extreme where you're actually seeing people dead on the floor.
Oh, okay.
So, but the reason I know you wouldn't like this movie is because
who's in it?
No, who's in it. No, because I think you would call this too artsy and pretentious. Because it does do things in this that, even though it scared the shit out of me, I think the movie went on a bit too long. It could have been cut down, and if it was cut down and more tighter, then I would recommend.
And what's it called?
He's Watching.
Okay.
But knowing you and knowing what you like, I don't think you'd like it.
Yeah, that sounds like a challenge, sir. Yeah.
No, I know you wouldn't like it, but if you want to watch it, go for it.
I don't know, maybe.
Because then if you do watch it, we can talk about it, and I can see if you do like it or not, and you'll probably agree with me that it would have been a lot better if it was tighter.
A little tighter, yeah.
Yeah, because it did go on, I think, for a bit too long. But it was still like the imagery in it, the cinematography in it, the way some of the shots were done. Like, this was all done by a family. Like a real family. Like they actually made this movie.
Okay.
Like, this was an indie movie at its core.
Oh, I see. I dig that though. Whether I like it or not, I can get behind that.
Okay, well, yeah,
you know
what I'm saying? The credits were all like written out, and funny comments like, "My kids had no choice but to be in this movie because I didn't have actors," or something like that. It said in the credit.
Okay.
It said starring my kids who did not want to be in this movie. That's what it was.
That's pretty good.
It was funny. So like, the indie aspect of it is there.
All right.
And I think that's why I liked it a lot, because like it was a family who did this on a budget with iPhones.
Did you ever see? I was gonna say, did you ever see that movie we were talked about where it was like a horror movie that was shot only on iPhone? I can't remember the name of it. I shouldn't have even brought it up because I can't remember the name. But we talked about it on the other podcast.
Unsane?
I think it was Unsane. Did
With
you ever end up seeing that? Yeah. Did you end up seeing that? I haven't seen that. Is it good?
I talked about it, and it was on my top 5.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
That's
right.
Yeah. Because of my feelings for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I did watch that.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that now. All right.
I actually watched that again sort of recently.
Okay.
And it's still disturbing.
Yeah.
It is fucking disturbing.
I need to watch it because I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks really interesting.
It's good.
Like, not just the technical aspect, but like even like the story that, I got it.
Would fall under psychological.
Yeah.
And I think it's streaming on Netflix.
Okay.
Last I checked.
All right. I'll have to check that out.
But Unsane's a good one.
So this wasn't initially on the list, but you made me think of it because you're talking about, I don't remember what you said, but like this is kind of a schlocky horror movie. It's called Reeker, Reeker.
Okay.
I don't remember the actor's name, but he was the boss at the magazine Ugly Betty. Her boss.
I have never watched it.
You didn't watch Ugly Betty? That's right. Well, the guy that plays the boss in Ugly Betty is in this movie, and it's very tropey. It's like, oh no, these two groups of people, this big group of people converges at some random gas station in the middle of nowhere, and then there's twists. There's a major twist at the end that you're like, oh shit, and it like this could have been like. And because it's not a great movie, it's like, oh, this could have been like M. Night Shyamalan's first attempt at making a movie with a twist in it. Because it's got the big twist at the end.
A big twist.
But I happen to really, really like it. And I don't know if I should just tell like what it is. Because nobody's going to fucking watch it, I don't think. Yeah, all right, I won't say anything. We'll see if it's streaming anywhere. Yeah, it's called Reeker. And again, it's unsuspecting group of people converge at a gas station in the middle of nowhere. And they have to figure out how to get out of there, and they can't leave. They're being haunted by something. They're being watched by something.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah,
I like when movies are like done in like one place.
Yeah,
or like road trip movies, like Jeepers Creepers or something like that.
I really enjoy it. I know it's not a great movie, but it's again
E?
REEKER. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think it's streaming anywhere. You might be able to rent it though.
No, not even.
Really? Okay. We'll have to find other means for you to watch it. But it's a movie I like, and again, I know
05?
Huh?
05?
Yeah, I believe so. And I get a lot of shit for it because it's not a good movie, but I really enjoy it. Because I will shit talk movies that are quote unquote technically better than it as being terrible movies. But I like this one. So, it's one of those things. It's all subjective, man. It's all subjective.
Right.
So I just wanted to briefly touch on that because I want to try and get you to watch it because I think you would like it.
If I can find it, I'll watch it. Because that's the kind of, I guess I could say that's the kind of movies I like. Or like one place or one location. Because that gives, that they have to rate good if it's going to be done in one location. Yeah, the rating's all right.
So another one I want to bring up real quick. I have one more after this, but that's going to be the last one I talk about. This one though, Rick, do you know who Tiny Tim is? Tiptoe Through the Tulips. You've heard the song.
I mean the story of Tiny.
No, the singer Tiny Tim.
I don't know.
Okay. You've heard Tiptoe Through the Tulips because I think it was used in one of the.
In American Horror Story.
Yeah. Yeah. So that guy. Is no longer with us, but he was in a horror movie called Blood Harvest in like 1986. I'd have to look it up, but I think it's 86. And holy shit, it is one of the creepiest things. Like, so the guy, again, I'm not speaking ill of the dead or anything, but the guy was a creepy guy to begin with. He was a very strange, very out there, eccentric human being. In real life. And he's in this movie and he plays somebody that you would think maybe has some sort of mental deficiency or some sort of mental problem some kind. But yeah, I don't want to give anything away. It's another one that you're going to have to look on. Like, these are somewhere to watch because it's an old movie and it's a very like not well-known movie. It's called Blood Harvest.
That sounds familiar.
I think I've talked about it to you before.
Probably because I feel like I'm seeing the poster in my head.
But it's really fucking creepy, and the performances aren't great. The writing's not great, but there's something that comes off super creepy about
1997, Blood Harvest.
97? No, this is 87. Yeah, okay.
It's on Roku for free.
Is it really?
Ads, but free.
Okay. There you go.
Tubi as well.
There you go. Check that one out. That one is scurry.
I don't know if I want to watch this. Fucking clown.
Damn it. You look too far in. He's painted like that. He's not actually a clown.
And he kind of looks like the Joker, so I could probably watch it. Joker's the only one that doesn't scare me. Well, I mean, he scares me, but not like a clown scare.
Right.
Unless he has like the whole getup, then I'm turning it off.
Okay. Watch it, Rick. I think you'll like it. But yeah, Blood Harvest. It's a super schlocky, badly written, poorly acted movie, but it comes off. I think that's the good thing about the horror genre is that so much can be wrong with the movie technically,
But you still have a good fucking time.
but you have a good time, and there's still some creepiness to it. Like there's still something that's like this is bad, but there's something about it that still pulls you in and can scare you. And I think that's the mark of the genre is like, no matter how good or bad the movie is, if they can just find a way to get you, then they've succeeded.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about why I think he's watching. You would probably not like it, but probably enjoy it.
Okay. All right. This last movie that I recommend everybody see, it's called The Gate. I've tried to get Rick to watch it before, but it's not streaming anywhere. I think this one might be on Shudder or something. I don't know. I keep saying that, but I'm probably wrong.
I'm looking at it now.
It's about these kids who live in the suburbs and their parents go away for the weekend. So it's just the older brother and the younger brother left in the house.
87?
87. Yeah.
It's on Shudder.
Yeah. All right. I got one right.
Complex for free.
Oh, cool.
And Roku.
All right. It's about these kids and one of the kids' friend brings over a record and they play it backwards. And they open up a gate to hell that's in their backyard, and a lot of really dark, nasty shit starts happening. And I will say that this one is definitely more psychological than anything. There's like no blood or guts. Like there's not anything like that. It is something that just really, really messes with your head. There's one scene in particular with the younger son's best friend that comes over, and he's spending the night that weekend. And I don't want to give anything away because I want you to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. It's free.
You'll know the scene. You'll know the scene, and it definitely is fucking. It is not just scary, but it is fucked up, man. Like, wow. So yeah, these demons coming out of the gates of hell are psychologically fucking with these kids, and they got to figure out how to close the gate. And it's a really, really good movie. I like it a lot.
Kind of like I don't know if you saw it, but As Above, So Below.
I haven't seen that, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But yeah, so
I think that would be another movie.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think I would call it more psychological than anything, but it is still a horror movie at its core. Like, yeah, there's some fucked up shit in that movie, and even to this day, it's still fucking. That's the scene I'm talking about. Still fucking hurts to watch because you feel for that kid, man. You feel for that kid. But yeah, that was the last thing, like major thing I wanted to talk about was The Gate. So like mine are House 2, Blood Harvest, and The Gate. That's initially what I brought. We talked about way more than that, which I'm super happy about. Because initially I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of our short ones.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But yeah, again, this is a lot of us talking about stuff vaguely and not ruining it. I don't know if anybody's actually gonna watch these movies or not, but
I think the problem is like, if I was gonna even tell you like, well, if they're older than like 95, like let's go ahead and spoil it, because like I feel like
still like if you haven't seen like specifically but for you,
I haven't seen it.
I want you to see these movies. Yeah.
But yeah, As Above, So Below, I think since you mentioned that part, like that's one I recommend people to see.
Okay.
Because I found like I didn't know this until I looked more, or until I saw it again, but they actually got permission from the people in, I think it was in Paris, France, the catacombs. They actually got permission from them to film down there.
Oh shit!
So they actually filmed.
So that was legit.
That was legit. They filmed in the catacombs, down underneath. That part I didn't know. I thought it was all like a stage or whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like they filmed in there, and yeah, that was a movie that Bryce and I just saw on a whim, and coming out like really liking it a lot, and I always recommend that movie if it comes up or something like that comes up, because again, small budget, and they were able to film down there.
Yeah.
You would like it.
I think we got to give an honorable mention and like a super special shout out to the old school Universal Monster movies. I think those are still fun to watch nowadays if you go back and watch them.
I don't know if I've seen any of the original ones. Like, are you talking about like Frankenstein?
Yes.
Dracula,
the Mummy, and
No, I haven't seen the OGs.
Wow, dude. Wow.
I've seen Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, that's a good one. The original?
It's original,
yeah. That one is still scary to this day.
Yeah.
How crazy is it that, again, I'm gonna fucking spoil this when everybody's seen Night of the Living Dead. How crazy is it that, like, the end of that movie, like the very end, culminates with one of the most fucking racist things to happen in movies? Like, he shoots the guy.
Oh.
He's a black guy. White dude shoots him without a word. And it's like, yeah, he was one of them. Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's like that for a reason. Like, they made that movie that way for a reason. But yeah, Night of the Living Dead, the original, is fucking, I think that's still good. Good performances in that movie too.
That was like his, like, what was his first movie? Like, feature movie?
I think so.
I feel like it would have to be.
Other shout out to honorable mention is They Live with Roddy Piper, not a horror movie. It's more of a sci-fi-ish kind of thing. But when I was a kid, it was scary. I don't know if you've seen They Live.
Saw the
John
trailer
Carpenter's
for it.
They Live.
I thought it looked cool.
It's really good. You should watch it. It's really good. Not a horror movie. Special shout out though to Roddy Piper. He's the best, and he's super good in that movie. And that's where that line comes from. I've come here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
The line delivery is so stale.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. If you haven't seen any of the movies we talked about, I highly recommend to go see them. I gotta watch The Gate.
Mm-hmm. You'll watch House 2 also.
I guess I'll watch those too.
That's good. House 2 is fucking hilarious. You gotta watch that. It's good.
I'll watch The Gate. I'll watch House. You watch He's Watching.
I'll watch He's Watching. Yeah, for sure. I'll check that out.
And we'll revisit.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
All right. Thanks again, everyone, for stopping by and checking us out. All the links for everything is down below. You can follow us on our socials to keep up with us. I think the month of October, we might be putting more than usual out.
Yeah.
Just because we want to get all the scary talk out here.
Yeah.
And I remember I recorded one of my scary encounters that I've never put up before on my last podcast.
Okay.
So I might put that as an episode here. It's a short one, but it's my encounter with what I think I saw was a fucking demon. But again, sleep paralysis. You'll hear it.
Yeah.
Anyways, anything else to add?
Yep. Always got to do it every time. Special shout out to Nigel Bravo, Stoat Krow Komedy. Crow with the K, Comedy with the K. You can check him out on Twitch at Stoat Krow Komedy. Same on Bandcamp. And yeah, again, dude had a problem and fixed it by making music for anybody to use. So
royalty free. You gotta take advantage of it.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
All right. So until next time, we will see you.